Well, we had a pretty good run. We made it a couple of months, I think close to 6, before having a serious audio issue. So I'm gonna have to apologize and preface from the beginning of the show. There was some problems with Nick's microphone. We're aware of it, we hear it, and we apologize if this is gonna bother you to the point that you can't listen to the show. We felt like we had a pretty decent conversation, so we didn't want to scrap the entire thing, but using Final Cut's voice isolation feature, I'm trying my best to make it somewhat audible, but at the beginning of the show, we're kind of hyped up and excited, so it sounds more loud than it will be throughout the rest of the show, so it does get a bit more calm. We apologize, we will fix this issue, and hopefully it won't be a problem much longer. Let's begin. Welcome back to the Talos of Tech podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
What
we
up?
are joined again. What? Did we reach a milestone? What happened?
I don't know why Nick is spazzing out.
It was just a glitch in the Matrix because nothing's real.
Guys, we hit 189.
189
Oh my God.
is 20 more
Ceremonial.
than 169, which is 100 more than 69, which is the funny number.
Funny number. Oh my God. I just want to thank everybody on this panel because I know a lot of you look forward to the show every week, but there are schedules that we are, we're all solar panels. There's a schedule we're all cramming in to try to make this show work every week, and Nick and Randy both have other jobs and other things going on, and it's tricky across. All of us on this show are in a different time zone, but we make it work.
Because we love you.
In the hair of time. Because we love you. We read the positive comments and ignore the negative ones.
No.
And ban the crypto scams.
I actually print out the negative ones, and I put them in my shower so that I can read them as inspirational quotes as I'm conditioning my hair.
Someone should fire that Nick
good.
guy. He adds no value.
We do read the comments.
You will never amount to anything. Yeah.
Just doing that crypto episode last week brought a whole bunch of new bots I'd never seen before.
I know.
Good. So
good. It's boosting. It's boosting the algorithm.
Thanks for the watch time, bots.
Bots. Joke's on you. Bots.
Yeah.
So let's do another controversial take on something.
Okay.
How about that Netflix?
Ooh, is this controversial? Is this? I don't know. There was a overwhelming amount of agreement with that video. You know, like
no, I was being facetious. I was gonna actually pivot to Elon and Twitter again, but you know.
Oh, okay.
The real controversy.
Netflix. Go ahead.
The real controversy is why is Netflix still here?
Hey, come on! I use it.
Why do they exist?
Oh, you do?
What do you pay for?
On the show?
Or no, you have.
You use someone else's.
Drew.
Sit down, Drew.
Drew.
On the show.
I don't pay for anything but my iCloud storage.
Okay, so we got one grifter. Drew, do you have Netflix? Do you watch Netflix?
We have it on our TV, but it's not ours.
Okay, so we got two
grifters.
grifters. I do not have Netflix, and I do not grift Netflix. I do not do Netflix. So when people are like, "Oh, you need to watch this totally rad new show, bro," I'm like, "Don't have Netflix." And they're like, "Oh, but you should."
Like Return to Space.
Yeah, or like all of the
Space Force is good though.
I am not gonna watch Space Force. I'm sorry.
Steve Carell is just as fun. Oh my God! Yeah, I know he's always Michael, but at least he's not being Me Too'd in that one yet.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Speaking of Apple, yeah.
Speaking.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I will. I do not pay for Netflix. What'd you say? I didn't hear.
We're gonna ban Netflix for all mankind.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
TV. There's some more TV Plus jokes.
No.
We're gonna need severance pay
because we crashed.
Because that was great.
That is literally Netflix right now, though.
Let's Ted Lasso this subject back.
Stop it! Hey. This is technically the morning show because it's 9:30 my time.
Can we talk about my dick?
I can do it too. What I will say with the Netflix thing, I don't pay for. I'm such a hypocrite. I'm not the person to talk about it, but that's why I'm gonna say it so I could be the butt of the joke. I don't pay for it, but like, I invested in them. You know, at the start of the pandemic, I bought in. Dude,
wow.
When I tell you that it moved my portfolio in a way that I thought only Tesla could, I started getting sweat beads on my forehead.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, it's up today. Oh.
Believe you me, I was watching once it opened 30 minutes ago as of recording this. I was like, how's it doing? Pre-market doesn't seem to be bad. I have no intention of selling because like anything else, it will bounce back. You always buy fear.
So you think they'll bounce back?
Buy fear, baby. Buy fear, sell greed. And right now, if I wasn't committed to buying the whole Ford, whole Ford thing going on with the Ford Lightning, I would probably funnel some more money into Netflix because bad PR has statistically done well for me with Starbucks, Apple, Tesla, and I would completely bet on Netflix bouncing back up because what they have that nobody else has is they have an established original catalog.
Tiger King.
Ooh, they do have Tiger King. That is.
I'm never going to financially recover from this.
No, I've seen. I can't tell you how many comments I've read in the past couple of days of people saying once they finish XYZ show, once Ozark is over, once JoJo's
Ozark!
done,
Woo!
So many people are like, I'm canceling
I used to
the
live
second.
there. What is up with this show? I've heard so many be like, "Oh, Ozark's a great show." I'm like,
did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
No.
It's Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Oh, that makes me want to watch Ozark. But I'm gonna wait. But here's my real question for Randy.
Yeah.
If they crack down on password sharing, would you pay for the service?
I know where you're going at this, and I'm going to throw a curve right back at you. I don't need to pay for it because I have T-Mobile.
Okay. Let me phrase it differently then.
Nope, you can't. You can't because you didn't do it for your unlimited photos video. I'm not. Nope, you don't get to double standard me, sir. I came prepared. I read the notes. I brought the receipts.
Then I'm just going to assume you wouldn't pay for it if it wasn't included in your T-Mobile. That's my assumption then, if you won't.
No, your assumption is actually wrong. If say, I'll give you one better. Not only do they crack down password sharing for Netflix, but all of them, Disney, Hulu, Paramount, Peacock, Netflix, Apple TV. Right now, I have access to all of these, and I pay. So, all 6 streaming services, if they all crack down on password sharing, and I was like, I'm not paying for cable, I would do Netflix over anything else with the occasional renewing Disney Plus for my Star Wars stuff. And I know Star Wars will do this thing where they'll bring out where there's something happening year round, so they don't just get that burst. But I don't care. I would wait for the show to end. not the show to end, but I would wait for the season to end. Read the reviews, hear what people say. Because had I known Book of Boba was going to be what it was, I would have been. Yeah. That's not canon in my head. That doesn't exist. So I would have just waited, but I'm not paying for it. I too am
surfing the promos. I am benefiting from all the free trials. That, we have
Drew, on the
T-Mobile
record,
home Wi-Fi.
How many email accounts do you have?
3?
Okay.
4? But
those are
they
rookie
don't offer
numbers.
Free trials.
I know, because I have like dozens.
You know why they don't offer
free trials anyway?
They don't because of that.
Yeah, because of that. But I just mean I look for deals, and like with our home internet, they included Paramount Plus for a year, so we got that for free, and we use it. That's what we're watching the most of right now is all the shows on Paramount, and if Paramount asked for a penny a month, we wouldn't pay it. It's the principle of the thing. It's not like the pricing that's like, oh, TV Plus is cheaper than Disney Plus. It's like completely different services. It's like they're both in the same business, but it's they offer completely different shows and different titles, and it's like, yeah, it's if I cared about something on one of those services, I would hope for a promo, hope for a deal to show up, and be on the market for a deal. But deciding to pay for it is, regardless of what it costs, a decision of like, oh, okay, this content is valuable enough that I'm willing to spend money towards it. And we have not run out of free stuff to watch. Before Paramount, we were just watching a bunch of free stuff on Peacock, and we weren't even done with that. And we just kind of reprioritized. What?
Peacock's a good one. I watched Bel Air, and I was like, this is not a bad show. It's not the 90s Will Smith. Can I say that name? It's not the same one like that, but it's
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. there's we were just going through Psych, which is all free on Peacock, which there's a ton of episodes and they're all pretty good. So
Psych was you didn't see it when it was airing, huh? Because
I watched some of it, but my wife hasn't seen any of it, so we just decided to start
I'm so glad you guys did that. If there was one I'd be recommending.
Such a great show.
Yeah, that's
completely free. There's ads, but I think all of these services are feeling the burn, because what we do is when the ads come on, you mute it, and then you go on your phone and text back people, check Twitter, check Discord. Oh, the ad's over. Unmute. Keep playing.
Welcome to the early 2000s again. That's
right.
how we did it.
I don't know if that's hurting the advertisers, but there's no way of them stopping that from happening. But I've heard the paid options are not doing too well. And based on Netflix's cancellations and the fact they expect another 2 million in the next quarter, to me says a lot about how valuable these services are. Like, people are willing to put their foot down and draw the line at a certain point and say, yeah, there's people. Yes.
I think it's a correction. I think there's a correction that's happening with the services.
Mm-hmm.
Because what a lot of these are kind of, with the exception of Netflix, none of them are really that old. Hulu, okay, Hulu. But Hulu business model was trying to intentionally be different from Netflix when they wanted to compete. So Disney Plus, Peacock, Paramount. I think there's other ones too, but those are the three that I'm personally familiar with.
Prime.
Prime. Oh, God.
Prime's a big one. Yeah.
I watched Prime for I watched one thing because of Aaron Paul doing his show there, and I was like, Breaking Bad, I want to see what he does. And I was watching this Prime original. I was like, this is terrible. Wow. This is bad.
Yeah, we watched also through what is the term you use, Nick? What is it called? Leech or
from what?
You use someone else's account?
Grift?
Yeah, what did What did you call me when you're like
Grifter?
Drifter. Rifter?
Grifter, I think, is the word I use.
Grifter. Okay.
Grifter, yeah.
I'm a grifter of Prime. I'm using someone else's account, and we watched. We haven't watched any original content, but there was one called. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was a bad horror movie, and we didn't enjoy it.
No.
And we were waiting for it to get good, and it never got good. And I was like, well, that was a waste of time. I'm glad we're not paying for this.
I watch Hulu for Family Guy at this point. I mean, whatever. It's barely even.
We did have Hulu for a couple months. They offered a promo of 99 cents a month for a year, and we couldn't even justify that. We did it for 4 months, and we were like, yeah, we're not using this very much, so we canceled. We were like, this isn't even worth $1 a month for us, because it just didn't have anything we wanted to watch. So it's like,
what would you pay for?
You're absolutely right about this being a correction, though. I think that the companies who will thrive the most in the streaming space are the ones that are offering supplemental services. Like Apple does TV Plus, but it's not their bread and butter by any means. It's not even their oregano. It's their.
This is not even their garnish. This is just the. No. This is the barely what you call
their tip. This is
the fancy chinaware you bring out when you have those special guests or something.
Yeah, because I'm not convinced Apple's turned a profit on TV Plus yet. I just saw some news article about how the We Crashed show, which looks kind of interesting. I'll be honest. If I get another trial, I'll watch that. waiting for all the episodes to drop before I get the trial again, and then I'll binge the show. But the set for We Crashed was like the size of an entire building.
Yeah.
Like it was one of the largest.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's enormous. And I'm like, all this for $5 a month from each party. And Apple can afford to do that because they make so much money from other things. And kind of the same thing, not to the same extent, but it's kind of the same thing with Disney. They don't have to pay royalties on all of their titles because they own their titles. It's like they own it. It's like getting the car straight from the manufacturer. You don't need the dealer markup, you know? And Disney has so many companies they own, between toy companies, theme parks, news stations. They have such high profits from things outside of the streaming service world. Not to mention box office, you know, because they own pretty much anything that drives people to the movie theater. And they can afford to keep Disney Plus cheap, whereas Netflix is going to struggle with that because they are constantly having to build out their own backlog now, and all of it is somewhat recent. None of it is like Pixar aging or Star Wars
nostalgia.
stuff. Yeah, there's not a huge nostalgia factor with Netflix. There's a lot of reality TV knockoffs. But basically Disney can afford to price things really low. Amazon makes all their money from Amazon, so Prime Video is just like a little side project because, you know, Jeff Bezos.
It's what you're saying actually was
going.
right there. You hit the nail on the head, is that they can afford to undercut Netflix. Netflix is the Apple iPhone. Netflix is the Bitcoin. Netflix is the service to beat. Netflix was the one to be like, oh, this is the future of TV. And everyone was like, we could do streaming. And like, oh, we can't do streaming. Why are we having them pay royalties for us when we could just do it ourselves? And they ramped up their servers and built these apps and websites and stuff like that. And they can afford to undercut because it's supplemental in that sense. I agree with you. I suspect this is out of my own bias here, because I can't afford to think the other way. I suspect that Netflix is not going to go away. I don't think this is not going to cause a bankruptcy. Netflix was riding a high, really, and that's something to stress on, that they even addressed. They didn't even expect the surge that they saw in 2020 when it happened, and they've been oversaturated ever since. And all the analysis even said that, but when
with
it comes
people
to
sharing passwords.
You know, you want to talk about poorly aged tweets?
That was great.
I will say this though, you as a company, or not you guys, but like if you try to restrict password sharing, you're gonna drive people away because you're going back on something you've said, that you've made that again, poorly aged tweets. That's going to be on your tombstone. That's going to follow you now for a very long time. That
I think people would just cancel. I don't.
That's what I'm
see
saying.
That many people.
I'm not paying for it now, and I don't plan on paying for it. I answered your question in the context that you said if I had to pay. Out of all the services, I would choose Netflix, just because I won't be loyal to Disney like that. Disney, I am more invested in the films like Marvel and stuff like that. I will go watch in the theaters because I like the theater experience. Sure. The TV shows are. I will do the Netflix model of the TV shows and wait for it to finish airing. So everyone's like, every week for 5 to 10 weeks, dude, you're not no, I'm not watching it. Okay, yeah, I'm waiting till it's done so I can watch it all at once. Because I've built that habit from Netflix. I will choose to have Netflix if I had to pay for it, but I don't want to pay for any of them. I'll say this now because it doesn't matter. They shut down so many of these websites, but I was a bad boy. I was torning everything. For over a decade, I haven't paid for anything. And before they got sweet with their deals,
wow,
I was just downloading. I downloaded The Walking Dead like it was going out of fashion.
Sorry.
I downloaded Game of Thrones. You thought HBO was no. I downloaded Game of Thrones. I downloaded Breaking Bad. I downloaded it all. and I did it proudly. And I say that now because you guys
thanks for
took
coming.
Pirate Bay away.
Yeah, he's
So-
actually right here.
The FBI
His
has
name's
entered
Randy.
the building.
Yeah. He has
Nope.
a beard. Yeah.
No,
He's
with the
one.
You
beard.
wouldn't
Oh.
download a car with a charger.
Wouldn't download it.
You wouldn't
Guess-
download a mobile connector.
You guys should really watch our EV podcast because we have some thoughts.
Subtle plug. Oh, yeah. I can't say I ever got into pirating. But I can
say
understand.
I've never pirated.
Well, that's good. I knew people
Before
who
that, I
did.
LimeWired every MP3 on iTunes. I could keep going. No, I did so
Please,
much
incriminate yourself more, Randy.
pre-VPN.
You're putting this out on the record.
Hey, listen, you
Yeah.
guys. It doesn't matter
probably
now.
pirated records. He's old enough.
Records. I pirated Bitcoin. I pirated. Just
Oh,
kidding.
Did you reply
For-
to that Elon
for
tweet where he said he was going to give you 5,000 BTC?
For entertainment
Yeah,
purposes only, I was just saying
It's a
all that to
verified
drive a point.
account.
Verified.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I see a lot of people on subreddits saying like this is driving piracy rates way up.
It
all
will.
these subscriptions and stuff.
Oh, yeah. So,
I'm not gonna say it's a good idea because I think that the reason the prices get worse and the ads get worse are because people use ad blockers and because the revenue takes a hit that causes the company, like, it's just unrealistic to assume that everybody could do it.
If only there was some
and-
type of blockchain that could give you the control so you don't get ads and pricing inflections like that because it's not controlled by the company. Maybe you
Let
can
me
buy-
know the streaming service that accepts crypto as a payment
Ooh, that'd be
source,
nice.
but I guarantee you it would not be cheaper than the US dollar version.
no.
It's like it's
It
the
would be.
chicken and the egg thing because they drive the cost up. People pirate because they drive the cost up. They drive the cost up because people pirate. It's this is a battle as old as the internet. This is just how, I mean, before that people were bootlegging, these
VHSs.
terrible tapes and let me tell you, the people who were deployed in Iraq appreciated every bootleg they can get their hand on because that's how they got their media. And that's how my addiction started. I was like, wait, I could get this for free? Yeah, the drug was strong. I was immediately, and I don't have to
Yeah.
pay for it.
I get the chicken and egg thing. The only difference is, like, to me, there's a way that the infrastructure in the market can exist without ad blocking. Whereas if everyone did it, if everybody pirated, if everybody used ad block, we wouldn't have the content we have. They couldn't exist. Like, there wouldn't be money funneling the projects or the servers or the website or the company that makes all this run. So it's like, if your logic is, I don't want commercials and I don't want to pay for anything, if everybody had that, this stuff wouldn't be here. There has to be some kind of business in order for us to keep watching and enjoying the shows we have, because they require time, money, infrastructure, and the ads are annoying, and I'm the first to try to get rid of them. That's why I pay for YouTube Premium, but at the same time, I understand that they're a necessary evil, and if they weren't there, none of the stuff you enjoy would be there either. So it's like, I'm sure people are experiencing this with our ads on the podcast right now. Is like, it's kind of annoying, and it probably interrupts the conversation a bit, but it helps support free hosting, which is very, very nice, which we appreciate, and it makes this help incentivize for our time as we're trying to make room for the podcast within our busy schedules and, take time away from work and focus on this. It's like, it's annoying, but it's a necessary evil, and I don't see a world that would be better without ads or subscriptions.
I disagree
basically what-
a lot with what you say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, let me hear it.
Change the business model. If running ads on the subscription is causing people to pirate in that scenario, you evolve, adapt with the change with
Where does the
today.
money come from, though?
There's different ways you can get funding. Like Netflix is a public
How?
company. Netflix is a public company, so investors fund the projects. That's
Because
one way.
Netflix charges people.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
money coming in.
Yeah,
What if-
so and they don't run ads, right? And so
yeah, but they're thinking about it pretty heavily now. I just mean that there's got to be something. It's either got to be paid or there's got to be ads or a compromise on both where it's cheaper with ads. It's
Right.
got to be something. But the
I don't
main
think-
reason people are pirating is because the rates are going up.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't agree that I was taking what you were saying is that people are pirating because of ads too, and I'm like I don't think that's why they're pirating.
It's both. It's both pirating and ad block. It's like both are doing
Anybody
the same thing.
who remember when Steve was like people pirate because it's not easy to buy something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't believe it then. I don't believe it now. That's not why people pirate. And as a former reformed pirater here, I
Reformed
pirated.
Pirater. I mean, he hasn't gotten rid of the eye patch quite yet, but
I pirated for accessibility. That was why I did it. Because again, I was deployed. I had no other way of getting my content to me, and that's how I did it. With
Yeah.
MP3s, it was because they didn't have the business formula of getting singles. It's changed since now. Most people will do singles, but I didn't want to buy a whole album. I had to spend $13 or more to just listen to 4 songs that I like or 3, and that business model did change, and it changed so much that it's all streaming, and I like that one more. And it hurts me as a musician because I don't get that money. I get fractions of a penny. So
Yeah.
I had to change my business model where people can fund me more directly. So if I can adapt, a little nobody, big companies with media, with Netflix and streaming can also adapt. I at this exact second I'll need to set on it. I never put that much thought to give you an answer because I don't know the answer as of right now, but I do know it is possible. If they're just holding on to one way, you have to diversify. That no matter what, diversification.
But it's
is,
got to come from the consumer at the end of the day.
And the
Something
consu-
has to come from the viewer. or
and the consumer
audience.
gets it in other ways. But see, I also disagree. T-Mobile is funding Apple TV Plus for my 1 year. T-Mobile is funding.
But you're paying that. You're
Exactly.
money's coming out.
But my money's going to T-Mobile for a utility of using their carrier, and the fact
Same.
that I get Netflix and Apple TV was just icing on the top of it. But that's not why I pay T-Mobile. T-Mobile as a business did a business structure with them, so it's an enterprise structure at that point, and you could make more things like that. The IBM method of how they would run their software services with Apple. Who would have thought they'd see the day where IBM and Apple work together? But in the enterprise sector, it is that synergy. It's symbiotic relationship right there. They need each other, and I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but you could find. You have to sweeten the pot. At the end of the day, you have to sweeten the pot. We talk about this one specifically all the time in regards to Apple. Don't give me Apple One and just all these other things that I don't care about so I can get Apple News Plus, whatever. But if you offered me unlimited storage, you see where I'm going with this, Drew? If you offered me unlimited storage, you would make a customer for life out of me based off of that. And if that means I'm also funding your Apple TV Plus programming, then screw it, fine. I want the storage. I need a signal connected on my T-Mobile. All that is all because of something. You're sweetening the pot at the end of the day. So that's one way that you can basically maybe change it. If you do this a direct line, Nick, Drew, give me $15 a month individually, and I'll give you my streaming service called Randy Flicks, and you can you won't be that incentivized no matter how much I try to market advertising towards you. But if I provide value to you based off of other things like that, if that means I have to go work with other businesses to make that work, I'm working with YouTube or SpaceX or whatever else you guys love. Then all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, check this out, because it's a business that you're already paying for anyway. We've already adopted our brain, ladies and gentlemen, audience of everybody. We've already adjusted our brain that we are paying subscriptions for certain things. And eventually, we didn't talk about it last week, hardware might be another one of those things. So we've already programmed ourselves that we are going to be paying for the rest of our lives because that's how they make a customer for life. Sweeten that pot then. Make that pot sweeter for me. That's how you get my business. Personally.
Yeah,
Just a thought.
It could come through other businesses. I still don't think because not everyone's going to have that service or what have you. That's like they want the accessibility without paying the price. And as the prices go up, which is what I think spawned a lot of the most recent cancellations, that's going to drive piracy up. It's not going to drive T-Mobile customers up.
Can I just say I didn't realize how expensive Netflix was
Oh, it's terrible.
until because
awful.
last time I paid for Netflix was like in 2016 or 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It was a while ago.
Oh, it was way less.
And it was like
yeah.
$6 or something. It was like $5.99 or something like that. I had like the cheapest plan.
That cheap, but
it
yeah.
was no, it was not more than maybe $7. It was super cheap. Like I remember being like, yeah, it's worth it. Holy cow. $10 for 480p? What?
How much
know.
was it back then, Nick? Would you pay before again?
That doesn't sound right because my family
look
had
it up. It
Netflix
was
before they
definitely
did
less
streaming.
than like $7. It was like their absolute...
$7 was what I paid in like 2010, 2011. When I tried it out.
No, well, I don't know. Whatever I was... Maybe I had like some student discount too because I was a student at the time. I don't know if they did that.
Mine's just saying $11 a month.
No. It wasn't $11 a month. It was less than $7.
That's what it says. Complete history. I think $10 a month in 2016 is what it says.
Can you send that to me? Is that like the tiers?
There's a chart.
Is it a
There's
chart?
a chart that shows the premium and standard. Standard started at $8 a month in 2010. There may have been promos going on we don't know about, but I'll text you the link.
Yeah, maybe I was on a promo or something, but it was definitely less than $7 a month because I almost kept it, but then The Office and Parks and Rec were, I think, talking about leaving. And...
Whoa. Look at that. Okay, hang on.
Oh, wow,
We're
interesting.
doing an on-the-spot
Gotta-
analysis here.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
Whoa.
gotten far worse. I'm sure Netflix
Okay,
spending has
$8.
gone up.
Okay, so maybe it was $8 at the basic tier, for sure. Yeah, but I think at the time
We used to get the DVDs in the mail.
Yeah, oh, no, dude.
Yeah,
We used to
yeah.
get the DVDs like all the way back through like 2008, like 2006. Like we always had the DVDs. Like I can't remember a time in my life where we didn't have red envelopes.
Yeah.
We thought it was so much better than Blockbuster.
Oh yeah, it was.
And then
They
was
showed
it
up in the mail.
Redbox or whatever that was just parked outside? And
Yeah, we
I
never
used-
got into those, but
I tried it a few times.
I saw a lot. Yeah, I think they started making original content too, which made me laugh. The Redbox original.
Out of any of these original content streaming services, hands down, when the rubber meets the road, Disney will always win at that one, just because of their catalog. When we talk about catalog,
Yeah.
like YouTube, I always said YouTube, man, rip YouTube Premium Originals, right? But I remember once upon a time we wanted to have our podcast as a premium original. How stupid
We
are
did?
we? We did. We talked about
Yeah,
it.
we did.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so Netflix spent after
What a
House of
stupid idea.
well, I mean, because it would have not gone anywhere.
Yeah.
So Netflix really started cracking down with after House of Cards. They're like, okay, let's really lean in with making original content. And everyone, wait, they can do that? And so then they started. So that's only not even a decade old yet, but it's still the oldest like streaming platform one to do it. But if we're talking, now providers of it, Disney is the oldest. Disney has it all. Because guess what? If there's somebody older than Disney, Disney's going to buy them out. So it's at the end of the day, it's Disney anyway.
I think Paramount and Warner Brothers have got to be up there.
It is up there.
close to older, or if not,
Who
definitely
has
older, but
MGM?
yeah, they-
I think MGM is the oldest. Whoever has that
they
one.
could be. They've been around a long, long time, and it shows with their app design. It's quite terrible.
Yeah, it's for Nana.
We've been a company since 1910, and our app was
It's
designed in
banana.
1911.
Time to open Paramount Plus. Click.
Says the
Although I
remote
hate
wrong.
Netflix's design too, for the record. I don't buy into that autoplay crap. I'm so annoyed with that. Every time you open Netflix, it starts playing things right away. And there's no trailers anymore. You can't just watch a movie trailer. They're just like, no,
Really?
just start the movie. Yeah.
No, I
Every
get
time-
trailers.
I mean, it autoplays in the background, but there's a lot of movies.
That
specifically
Ryan
when we're
Reynolds
on Netflix,
movie
they-
with him and The Rock. I scrolled over it and I saw like this whole like it was trying to get me to press
Yeah, it
play.
autoplays it, but
I don't
it's
think I was
not
watching a
like-
film though.
it's not like play trailer.
You know, I have the exact
know
same
what
gripe with YouTube on the app. I hate that I pause for 1 second.
yeah.
It starts playing like stop that. I don't want that because if it'll feed my watch history, start screwing with my algorithm, and I'm like, no, I don't want to
Yeah,
watch.
I'm sure they have some psychological argument behind it of how it improves
Sure.
watch time if we start playing stuff, but I don't care. I don't like it. But
No, yeah.
yeah, I am under the belief that Netflix subscriptions will continue to get worse, and it's not just because of the price hikes, it's because of how many services there are competing with it now. Now people can get Disney Plus for a fraction of the price, and TV Plus is coming up there, and there's at a certain point people are going to start putting their foot down and saying, no, I don't need every show. I don't need every service. And when they start looking over their subscriptions, Netflix is going to be the first one to cut for a lot of people because of how high price it is. Unless you're getting it like me and Randy are getting it as a grifter.
Grifter.
But if they crack down on that, they're obviously going to lose even more people. So I think it's a correction.
I
and
think they should just
the
lower
people
the prices.
doing it supplementally.
If they lower their prices, be competitive. I don't think Netflix will hurt in quality by lowering their prices. I think they've gotten greedy.
Maybe they spend too much.
Do
I
they
think
spend too much? I mean, I feel like if we spend about $8.6 billion on like 3 TV shows, it doesn't matter if they're good shows. I mean, people will watch them.
Well, Nick, they're actually spending $3 on 8.6 billion shows.
Oh,
That seems to be the
okay. That's the inverse
approach to Netflix. Is there's so much crap and there's so much stuff that they throw at the wall
Us
that doesn't
three
stick.
Actually,
go
that's
to a Netflix rep, all right? Us three in our suits. Hi, we have a show idea. Done. Don't you want to hear our pitch? No, don't even worry about it. It's fine.
And we're like, what's
Done.
the budget? And they're like, $3.
Yeah, everyone gets $50.
So that actually brings up an interesting question. Because I actually have been using TV Plus a lot more, Apple TV Plus.
Really?
Just because I have it with, might as well
You have to
watch
have
it.
it.
I have to have it because I want 4 terabytes of iCloud storage. Apple, please fix that.
Yep.
But anyway,
That's his T-Mobile.
I have. I know. I'm just stuck with it. I'm just stuck here. So I might as well watch.
We
the
all
damn
have a
shows.
T-Mobile.
You just don't know it.
I was hoping she'd be my ex, but no, unfortunately.
What?
Darn.
Darn. All right.
We
What
all
have you been watching?
Yeah. what's up,
Yes,
Nick?
actually, I was on vacation about a week ago. I guess I was in we all realized I was in a different location. I went back home to visit some family and had a bunch of downtime, and so I was like, yeah, I'll watch a TV show. So I watched Severance and We Crashed. Both very good shows. Like interesting.
I've heard good things.
Concepts, like not like that I'm the biggest TV and TV show reviewer out there. Randy and Mike should handle that more. But I was impressed by both of them. They really just felt like long movies because I binged them. It was like, 9 hours of like really good cinematics, set design, top acting talent, decent
Dolby.
stories, Dolby Atmos surround sound coming out of my AirPods Pro that don't have lossless. It was just an amazing.
Master has given Dolby a subscription.
So anyway, I was about to say, I guess the question is, which is better, spend $10 billion on 3 shows or $10 billion on 300,000 shows? Because I feel like they're two different approaches that Apple and Netflix have taken. And
Yep.
personally, I don't watch a ton of TV shows. So when I sit down to watch a TV show, I prefer it to be nice. And so it was nice to see, like, yeah, that We Crashed. I don't know how much money they spent on that We Crashed thing, but like,
There's
the
Jared
whole-
Leto, so
the
at
whole
least $1 billion.
premise of We Crashed was this guy is blowing $4.4 billion in about a year.
Yep.
and it looks like they spent about $4.4 billion to make that TV show because
Wow.
it was visually interesting.
It's kind of hilarious to me, Apple making a show about another startup.
Startup, I know, an old tech startup.
Yeah,
they're
it's
like SoftBank
Apple,
this and SoftBank that. I'm just like,
it's like punching down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, Apple was this startup company that got a bunch of funding and went through hard times but made it out, and now they're like, look at this stupid startup and how terrible they were. I mean, they're right.
I mean, they were right.
It's fun. It's just funny to me that Apple was very similar to WeWork at their origin, and then ended up being a positive story. But they were like, let's talk about this company that sucked, did everything wrong.
It's kind of like
us.
making fun of North Korea. It's like, just don't punch down, leave it alone.
Right.
What?
They
We're
go
never
low.
gonna
We
go
go
there.
high.
We could say what we want.
We can say whatever we want about North Korea,
But
the
not about
Chinese
China.
government.
We are not going to sever our business relationships with China. There is no Taiwan. What are you talking about? You mean South China?
TSMC cries.
Taiwan's a country. There. we got. I'll never go to China now. But yeah, like it is interesting to see Apple's approach, which I'll admit I was more doubtful of. I did not think TV Plus would do very well, but I think that it's gotten a lot of street credit now. I don't know if it's profitable, but it's at least gotten the attention of the Academy, and they've gotten certainly a lot of big names and a lot of popular shows now. So I give them credit for being on the map, and they're also at a wonderful price point to be on the map with, because they're basically the cheapest streaming service. I don't think there's a cheaper one without ads.
No.
Apple
And-
TV. The only way you can make Apple TV Plus even more perfect is that it needs to have Mac OS. Boom, boom.
Boom. I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say it needs to have live sports, but it now has live sports because
They're doing
every
that.
single ad. Okay, actually, we can't say I can't say that TV Plus is ad free because
That's
the
right, I
first like
forgot.
minute of every single episode is like some other show that they're promoting, and I'm like, Apple, this
I
is
hate
not.
that.
That's
you.
the
Why are you
HBO
even-
approach. That's what they do at HBO.
Yeah.
I understand that that's like a normal thing to do, but that's not the Apple way to do stuff, and it just hurts every time I have to like.
Oh,
skip.
Nick,
Thankfully, can
they're
skip
all
it,
they are is
but-
just cutting the check. They are not involved with that stuff, man. They just
Yeah.
cut the check.
Yeah.
And they put their name on. They take the Trump approach. I'm gonna put a big OT on it. It's mine. Like that's all it is. You get this big old.
You should say there's no paid advertising.
Yeah, no, there's
So-
no non-Apple TV Plus ads.
I want to answer your question. I was sitting on it for a second about which is better, the same amount of money for fewer shows or more shows.
It's quality or quantity. That's really all it is.
At the end of it has to be a good. You have to have good writers, and it has to have good execution, no matter what. So let's put like that part to the side. Would you rather all that resource be focused on a few things or multiple things? I think it's. I'm such a politician. I think it's both. Let me meet you down the middle.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because eventually your few will turn into many. That's just how show business works. You don't just sit on your laurels with just like, yep, this was a good season. We're never going to touch that again. That's just not how it works. They're going to run it into the ground.
Sounds like that's what Netflix does.
Yeah. Well,
One
yeah,
season. Well,
unless
okay,
you
let's go.
are Vince Gilligan and you realize that, nope, this is how Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul is going to end, and then you'll do a spin-off movie or something. I might keep going back to Netflix if they keep doing Breaking Bad, universe stuff. That keeps me
I
invested.
don't know. They've got AMC Plus now, so.
Oh, that's
probably gonna
another
take
one.
it.
You're right. That's another one. AMC Plus. I'm so
I don't
glad.
even know anything about it. I don't know how much it is, but I heard that. I was like, "What service is Better Call Saul on?" And I couldn't find any. Of them. And
AMC.
then they were like, "It's because AMC's got their own service now. Of course, why
Yep.
wouldn't they?" And not investment advice, but yeah, like they
Tell me.
they definitely are gonna keep titles they own to themselves. I don't expect Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad to stay on, or even El Camino. At first I thought Netflix signed all these contracts and got these exclusive titles, but did you see them take the Netflix shows off of Netflix to put them on Disney. They
No,
took
really?
Daredevil, they took Luke Cage, they took
But
Jessica Jones.
but the IP was always Disney's though, right? Like that was always
But
the
they
greater.
did them in partnership with Netflix. Originally, they were Netflix originals. They were branded as Netflix shows.
They better
And
do
then
that
they
with
went,
Sony. They better do that with Sony then.
They pull them off. Sony's an even. Maybe that is the difference because Sony probably doesn't own the IP. I know they don't own the IP for Spider-Man, or Sony does own the IP for Spider-Man. Disney does not. And they're doing it in partnership.
To answer your question, yes, I did see that. I was like, oh, that's interesting because I would have thought that was something that was written in the contract, and maybe it was, but maybe behind closed doors, Disney bought out the whatever like, hey, all right,
Yeah, maybe.
how much you want? We're freaking Disney. Well, how much you want? I'll just give you the money
Yeah.
and I'll give me that. What do you want? I heard your subscription service is taking a hit. How much you want? All right, cool. We're taking this. I'm taking my toys and I'm going home. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Seriously.
So
You were right about Apple though, because they're prioritizing quality and not producing a bunch of content. But you're correct in that will eventually become quantity. It's just a matter of time.
Yep.
Which was always the polymatter approach of Apple. They're not playing the long game. They're playing the long game.
Yeah.
Like they knew eventually we're going to have a really big backlog of content. And it's all going to be decently made and pretty high quality, but it's not going to be in the first year. And because Apple has so much money and they make most of it from hardware, not software, they know they can take their time with TV Plus. That's why they're probably burning through cash and charging $5 a month. Even with inflation, they have not budged on the pricing for TV Plus. It's been the same price pre-COVID as it is now. By keeping it the same price, Apple is basically lowering it because of the weakening of the U.S. dollar.
Stop.
That's $5 in 2019 is like
get out of my
probably
head.
$3.50
Drew,
now.
you're triggering the Apple sheep thing with that thing that you do. You're gonna make me consider keeping it. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, don't worry. They still have 7-day trials and stuff. They're
No,
still
I mean I
happy
have
to
it
give
for a
away.
year, or I have it for like 10 months now. But by like by that logic, I'm like, oh man, why wouldn't you keep it? I'm like, no. That's that stupid Apple sheep. It's a birth defect. Either you have it or you don't, and mine is flaring up right now. So,
Probably Apple One.
oh
People
my
go
god,
like,
can we
"Oh,
fix
look,
Apple One? Can we please fix it?
don't know how to fix
Can we build our package out to be like, oh well, this is what like can we just fix it? Like I don't need Arcade, I don't need News Plus, just I need unlimited storage. I'll take Apple TV, fine, whatever, and give me Apple Music, and then I'll pay what's that? $30 a month, $50 a month. Like price me out, give me
That
build.
sounds good.
Yeah, like let me build my package, and all right, fine. Whoa.
The problem is they know how much the people don't want Fitness Plus and News Plus. They have to bunch it into Premiere to make it a higher price. Otherwise, it wouldn't be profitable. So,
Well, then they failed.
I get
What?
why they.
Let me ask you this then, while I stall for Nick to get himself working here. Let me ask you this, Drew. Was News Plus a failed business model because maybe they were trying to be like Wall Street Journal or something, and it just didn't like it? Maybe News Plus needs to be more of an independent publisher in that sense that to make it work, to be like Time.
News Plus thought they could save the news subscription industry the same way iTunes saved the music industry, and that was a wrong call because I think that the issue was the news subscription industry was not worth saving. The problem was in the age of the internet now with social media and the freedom of information to be available to everybody with web and search and all that news subscriptions didn't really have a place left after that, and they're still struggling to keep that going. Legacy news especially, because they're like, okay, well we can't really have much exclusive content anymore.
Yeah.
Because all the news is public now. Like everything is aware. You can find it on Twitter. You can find it in the Apple News app. All these free websites exist. And that means that if you have a subscription, you're trying to offer some kind of additional benefit which is like, okay, this journalist writes kind of well.
On
or
that
has
note,
a
Drew,
quirky
did you
personality.
hear about CNN Plus?
Oh, I thought that's what we
Yes,
were
I was
talking
hoping to
about.
bring that up.
Yeah.
My AirPods just died again, so sorry. But
No, I know.
sorry, Nick.
That's why we were talking to kill the time.
thank you.
Get you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So
Completely
CNN
did that.
Plus.
CNN Plus, recapping for if anyone who's not aware, launched not even, or if not a month
Not
ago,
a
it's
month
under
ago.
30
Not
days.
even a month ago.
Not even a month. And they felt so bad at launch, they did a permanent 50% cut for life, they said. Now, half the cost, come subscribe to CNN Plus. Felt so
didn't hear
bad.
about
Yeah. They cut the price after a week. Permanently 50% off for life. Big banner. They were really excited about that. About after a week. Felt that so bad as of yesterday or the day before, they are shutting the service down.
Quicker than Quippy. That's what everyone kept comparing
Yes.
it to. Didn't even last as long as Quippy. I didn't know CNN Plus was a thing until they canceled it. I'd never heard of
Me
it.
neither.
You
So,
guys are so
I
lucky
didn't-
to be blissfully unaware. It was shoved down my throat for other reasons. Was
I
like,
can't
"Get out
even
of here."
imagine. I mean, I hate the idea of regular CNN. The idea of paying extra for it sounded even dumber.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it says a lot about how news is not super. As someone in the
Monetizable.
news space,
Yeah.
Get it, Drew.
as someone who covers the news, this is not an incredibly monetizable business that's incredibly dependent on what's being reported on that day. And there's also only so many people that can report on the same thing. When
Right.
the news gets saturated and when there's so many channels all documenting, they all suffer because the audience is only so big and everybody has to pick their news sources and pick their channels and pick their memberships wisely. You can't have everybody watching 50 videos of a MacBook Air getting unboxed. You know, it's after 5, most people get the point.
But I will
Okay.
for the iPhone Mini green. I've been finding, and the algorithm knows that now. So YouTube just gives me all these random new people. I'm like, hey, these guys are nice up and coming, sub 100,000 subs, and they're reporting on. Here's why the iPhone 13 Mini is probably the best iPhone, and like they make a case about it and why they should keep doing it.
Only
I'm like,
5% of people have bought it.
quality, yeah, quality content. So,
But
But
it's less
you're-
views for all. It's all.
You're absolutely
all
right,
the watch
though.
time is down.
your stance on this whole saturation with the news is kind of it kind of plays it from the start, and CNN just has a bad odor around it at all times. So you're not getting new customers with that, which is why when it comes to news sources and stuff like that, and we are that in this sphere of podcasting, the personalities matter, and if you and that's where if not integrity or whatever, at the bare minimum, at least you have to have the right personality for it. And CNN, for example, just it didn't cut it. And I even brought up the whole CNN thing because of what you were alluding to with News Plus, that I stopped opening the news app years ago when I realized that this is all coming from Twitter anyway, and Twitter already curated my Explore, what they call Explore now, with the news that I care about. So when that For You is almost accurate every time. So like Twitter is my news source for the stuff that I want to see, and I train the algorithm to like show me what's happening with iPhone
quick.
and quick.
It's free.
It's so good. I don't need to watch if there's an in-depth thing, I'm gonna go to YouTube and watch the in-depth thing there. You know, so it's
The character limit is one of its best attributes.
Thank
it has
God.
to be shortened.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be concise and
Don't change that, Elon.
yeah, please. The character limit can stay. I think most people are okay. The people do threads anyway. It doesn't matter. But it's News Plus. I think was doomed from the start because they thought that industry could be salvaged, and I don't think it can. I think long term there might be a handful of people that subscribe, but it's not enough to keep the businesses afloat. And unless they get especially lean, because that's why I called News Plus is just gifts. Just $10 a month for animated artwork in the news.
boy,
app.
do I got an
That's-
NFT to sell you.
It's a moving NFT.
Apple's renting NFTs. So, yeah. They can the Apple NFT Plus. That's what they should call News Plus. It's basically that.
Watch how that
Pay for
fixes
gifts
it.
that no one else gets.
The N in news is actually stands for NFT plus. That N, I'm looking at the logo right now, and that's all of a sudden, it's trendy. It's gonna cause up spike, and then they'll be like, oh wait, this is a fad, and then it'll fall off like everything.
It's
else.
the information age. That's what it is. It's too.
Are we
You
in
have
the
to adjust your
information
business
age?
model. This is another example of evolve with the times. Adjust your business model. Then this is Apple throwing, putty at the wall, see what sticks type of a thing.
I think
Unfortunately,
Netflix should do an ad option for cheap. I think they might have to. I know they don't want to, and they've been against it for years. But if they wanted to stop the slowdown of cancellations, making
Stop
like
the
a
hemorrhaging.
$5, yeah,
you're bleeding out,
make
man.
like a $5 option with ads. Probably the best way to do it.
People will watch for $5. Like people will watch 15-second ads over like 3-minute commercial breaks on cable television and stuff like that, on primetime network and all that. Like you have options is the way to fix all of it. You don't want ads, pay more money. You want you want a discounted rate, we're gonna run limited ads. And that's how they would say, please enjoy this experience for the next next 30 minutes, blah 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 blah, unlimited limited ads run. They do it with Spotify all the time, like it's it is what it. I don't pay
Spotify
for Spotify
and Netflix
for that.
have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
They both kind of pioneered this new concept of a service, only for other companies to realize they can do it much better.
Yeah.
That's basically
You
what
gotta
happened.
love competition. I love it with
Yep.
Apple, Tesla, all every big thing that I use or care about. Like competition is good because it forces hands, and if that means short-term bleeding, in this case with the stock, then you'll adjust or you'll die off. You'll be CNN plus. So
You'll be quipped. Yeah. I think it's an interesting discussion because Netflix is going to lose a lot of people now. And the reason the stock is reflecting that is because it's the first time in 10 years that they've reported less subscribers. And that's a big change and shift in the industry. But it's important to remember Netflix still is one of, if not the most popular subscription in the world. Up there with Prime, and still has over 100 million subscribers. I think it's like 190 million or something. It's an insane amount of people, and there's still way more people subscribed to Netflix than TV Plus or Prime or maybe not Prime, but Disney is coming up on Netflix, but they haven't passed them yet. So I personally don't think Netflix is going to die or go away, just because the IP they own is popular enough and the market cap is too big for them to be bought out at this point. But I don't see, depending on how they handle this, especially if they crack down on the password sharing and if they don't budge on price increases and that kind of thing, I would not be shocked if the company got bought out in the future. But I'm just trying to think of who would be in the market.
Elon has been buying
Disney or
companies
Apple?
recently.
No, Apple won't do it. But Apple might buy selective. Like if they buy the company, they'll choose which. Like, all right, here are the best originals, and we're keeping them.
They'll take Western Netflix, and Eastern Netflix will be bought by Disney.
And they'll share custody of a show called Berlin.
The only people who
we'll
would
get
buy.
partial
I mean,
custody.
I'm not being fair to Amazon. They have a lot of money.
I just think of antitrust. That's the only thing I think
That's
would
true.
stop Apple.
Yeah,
The
that's
government
true.
would say, it's too much. I also don't think, Nick, think about how they advertise TV Plus to you and how they brag about the quality and the luxuriness of the show. Would not work with Netflix.
Oh, no. Not at all.
The content is so trashy. It's so like pop culture, dating shows, hot.
Dressed in furry so you don't see what they look like. What?
Like, that would not fit the Apple look of TV Plus. Like they have a specific vibe they're going for with their content, and half the crap on Netflix would just not go well with that. Also, yeah, I think the government would say, so you made a competing streaming service, and then when you drove the other company bankrupt, you bought them out. That seems anti-competitive. So I don't think it would be Apple, but
If Apple was to do it, in this hypothetical, because I totally agree with you now that like, oh nope, that would not pass with the government. But if they were, and say it worked through, however, the same way T-Mobile and Sprint merged when they changed administrations, I would say Apple prides themselves on the name branding with these celebrities. So take like Red Notice, like the one with Ryan Reynolds and The Rock, like that's a gem. That's a keeper. That's an Apple exclusive now.
take the cream.
Take all that goody good and everything else, just dunk it. And hey, you know what?
Dunk it.
By the time it's done, because everyone likes a good redemption story, get your bingo cards ready. Maybe, it would be great that Apple will keep even House of Cards because Kevin Spacey will have redeemed himself. Hey, Nick, all I'm saying...
Him and O.J. Simpson should star in something.
Nick, all I'm saying is Kevin Spacey has already been cast for new projects, which means you can't kill these people anyway with canceling them. So you never know. I'm saying is you never know. Bingo.
Yeah, what cancel culture? More like okay culture.
More like go take a break culture. Come back when you
take a break culture. Yeah, I actually think Microsoft would want to buy it.
Oh, they totally would.
Oh, they're not in the streaming service world yet, and lots of other big tech, Amazon already has Prime, and
what about Google?
Apple has their own thing. Google has YouTube, which is kind of
it's still niche.
I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. I guess
we love different though. Thank you, Google. We love different.
Google was in the antitrust cases as well, so I could see them getting on their back for you're too popular. But
Xbox
Microsoft
Plus
was not
is what they should call it, something like that, like X Plus. Or
they could rope it in with Game Pass.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
That'd be cool.
Or if Samsung wanted to jump in there, just get their toes wet in the streaming service world. That a Netflix buyout I could see being a quick shortcut. I guess we own Netflix now, but other companies could pull what Disney owns Hulu, but they still treat it as a separate app. It's like that's where we put our not family friendly content. So Deadpool is on Hulu, even though it's technically owned by Disney. They didn't want Deadpool in the Disney Plus app. So
Family Guy is on Hulu. Like that's where they'll put.
Yeah,
and that's.
I
that's
could see the
raunchy.
same thing with another company buying out Netflix. Is like we put our R-rated content over there. And then all our family-friendly content.
Instead of Disney Plus, it's Disney R.
Anyway. Apple has no problem putting their R content, rated R content. I mean, their first big hit, their House of Cards morning show is all about a very sensitive subject that just
and I read about scenes from C, which were very graphic and
really
vulgar.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, I was like, really?
Seen. See.
I see what you did there. I see it. I see what you did there.
Based on what I read, I was like, yeah, no thanks. I don't need to see that. I don't care what narrative or what realistic expression I just don't want to. I already regret reading it, and now I'm like, yeah, I don't want to watch that. I want to I need that un-sea juice to take a big sip. Big sip of my un-sea juice.
AKA water.
Love that.
But unread juice would be good.
Ooh,
what's what else do we have going on this week with tech stuff? I don't want to talk about Twitter.
Are you going to sign up for Google Photos?
Yes. Okay, actually, Randy? So I am considering
Randy,
switching.
go ahead, Randy.
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Just for the unlimited photo video thing?
Yeah. It's kind of dumb, but I create enough photos and videos to justify it.
You're also paying $40 a month already for 4 terabytes.
Exactly.
So the question remains, what would you pay per month for
T-Mobile Plus unlimited? Yeah.
You buy a T-Mobile plan and you don't even use it. You just
Exactly. That's literally what I'm thinking about. Like, because at some point it is cheaper to pay, what is it? I was just on their website looking at the T-Mobile thing. I wasn't actually looking at their
I
plans.
think
Oh,
it's like
What plans?
$85 or something like that a
What
month.
kind of plan do you need?
The
you
magenta.
definitely need a phone plan. They won't offer it to me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it's the magenta. It's one of the magenta ones. So you, if it's a single line plan, you're going to be paying
Is it
$85-$90.
not an essentials? It's a magenta.
I don't know. I haven't looked at.
Okay.
I have the military magenta max or something like that. So I'm in a whole different. I'm like grandfathered into
Okay.
something
Yeah.
different.
So it looks like, yeah, geez, this is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
How much is it?
Magenta,
What do you see?
their kind of mid-tier plan is their magenta plan is $70 a month with auto pay.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
Wow.
Only 100 gigs of data. Oof. I think I'm at like
100.
300 for this
Well,
month.
we gotta read the fine print. Which one's offering the unlimited Google?
I don't know,
That-
but
It's
but
not
their
very
max
clear.
plan.
It's all it says on the website is qualifying plans only, and then if you ask them what the qualifying plans are, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I tried. I got them on the phone.
Oh, you did?
I texted them on iMessage. I was like, "Do I qualify?" And they were like, "We'd be happy to help you with all of those questions today. First of all, what's your name?" And like, I already texted them in the past, and I'm already.
Yeah.
They give me the whole spiel, and I'm like, "Okay, I just had one question from the beginning. I'm a T-Mobile home internet customer. Do I qualify for this plan?" And they're like, "You need to call this number to get more info on that." And I'm like, "Why don't you call that number? Isn't this like your job?" They're like, "Sorry. They will have all the information you need." So I call the number and I ask them the same thing after being on hold for 10 minutes. And they say, "I don't know, actually. I guess try it when it comes out and tell me what happens." So the number they said for me to call didn't know. The first answer I got was from the web chat, which I guess is different from my message. But web chat was like, I don't believe you qualify, but all you need to do is bring your phone to T-Mobile. So can I help you get started with that today? And I was like,
Can I get a commission,
bye.
please?
Hung up. So I was like, no, I'm not paying that much. So I did not know. Let us know in the comments, guys. What's the cheapest T-Mobile plan you need for the unlimited photo storage? Because Nick is considering it.
Yeah.
Do you have a budget in mind?
Well, so currently I pay $40 for the high tier iCloud storage plus
Yep.
Apple Premiere or whatever, Apple One Premiere Plus Pro Max XDR. And I would say I have kind of switched. I haven't like totally merged my audio library back to Apple Music yet, but all my
Mhm.
I'm still using Apple Music and YouTube Music, and it's kind of frustrating. But I'm back on Apple Music somewhat, and I'm also enjoying a little bit of TV Plus content. So I wouldn't say that, and I have iCloud documents and stuff too. So I don't think I'd ever get down to what is it, next tier down 200 gigs on iCloud storage. I think I'd probably still be at the 2 terabyte tier. So really, it's just about $20 more for basically the 2 terabytes. But if I could make that unlimited, that would be worth it a lot. But yeah, if I have to get one of these magenta plans, it's $70 or $85 a month.
I'm looking into it.
Plus
I'm trying to
$50.
find it, but
So-
I'm fairly confident it has to be a magenta plan. They're not going to offer the lowest one. That would not.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
That-
If
that-
they're not offering it to me, it probably requires
Yeah, it does
magenta.
sound right. So perhaps I'm not interested in it because I wouldn't pay $100 or $110 a month for unlimited
is a lot.
iCloud or if it was iCloud storage, it might be a different story. Unlimited Google Cloud.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Time
It
off.
definitely piqued my interest. It was
doesn't
enough to
launch
open the website
until-
and take a look at it.
Yeah. Doesn't launch until the 26th.
Wait a
which
minute,
is
it's not
weird. I don't know.
This is an.
Yeah, it's a $15 a month add-on.
Yeah, it's not free.
I see a $5. I see your first month
Here.
of cloud is on
Yeah,
us.
that's only for
After
500
that,
gigs.
pay $5 a month.
Let me send you the link.
That's the cheaper one. The,
Oh, okay.
the new plan hasn't been launched yet, but
I see. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm ready. I'm sure I'm on that link you just sent me because I'm on T-Mobile directly.
Mm-hmm.
to me, unlimited is absolutely worth spending more money on. we're actually in the process right now of downgrading to 50. We're getting all of my wife's pictures and videos off of her cloud, which is all that's left. And then our next billing cycle should hopefully be the 50 gig iCloud plan, because I'm like, if it's 2 terabytes, or even if I pay for Apple One Premiere and it's 4 terabytes, I will fill that up. At some point.
Yep.
I'm going to have to sort through all those pictures and videos and start deleting stuff. So it's like, I could either do it now and pay $1 a month, or I could do it 10 years from now paying $40 a month, and it's going to cost me way more in the long run. So I'm like, I'd rather do the sorting now and start storing stuff locally. Whereas if I knew for a fact I would never have to sort through it, if it was unlimited, I know that I don't have to go through that someday and start deleting stuff. So that's why if Apple had an unlimited photo and video storage thing, I would be willing to pay a lot of money per month for it, even if it was $40-$50, because I would just know, all right, forever in eternity, that's where all my pictures and videos will be, and I never have to sort them. So that's what interests me about unlimited. I would have probably done the 15th a month thing if it qualified for me, but it doesn't, and I'm not willing to switch my phone service over because of how much more I'd be paying per month. It's not. I'd put a high price on it, but I don't know if I'd put $100 a month.
Exactly.
That's quite a bit.
I'm looking on my plan right now. I actually stand a little bit corrected. It might be with any postpaid plan, because it's just an add-on. The unlimited one is coming soon, so I can't add it. But it's no different than me wanting to add a LTE 5G whatever for an iPad, or I want to pay. It's an add-on to the primary account holder, which I'm under mine.
Correct.
I'm able to make customizations here, so it might be that you don't need the most expensive Magenta plan. I do suspect you would still need a Magenta.
I know you're on a military discount.
Well, he has.
I have Magenta. The one I have specifically is Magenta Plus military with 3 add-ons so far. But when I click on my add-ons here, I do see options to configure more. I get more options, but nothing about that unlimited one. But it does look like it's just an add-on. I know that because I'm paying the higher one anyway, that I suspect that it would have been offered to me, because I get free Wi-Fi on planes and all that stuff too. But those are all add-ons based off of your tier thing, that if it's not included with it, you would pay something supplemental towards that anyway. But
hold on, T-Mobile has a debit card that you can have. You can bank.
They have
get a checking account with T-Mobile.
Yep.
What the heck?
Yep. Back when everything was like interest rates that were like 2% for high yield savings, they were competing by offering like, I think 2.5 or 3 at the prime, when everything was like trying to get people to come do business with them. They had a very enticing offer, but it was capped at like $10,000, and then after that it was like nothing. I was like, nah, never mind, I'm not doing that. So
I have to make this pitch to Nick because it's hilarious and kind of relevant. But have you followed what people have done with the original Pixel 1 unlimited storage?
No.
So the original Pixel 1, which you can buy now for $150 on Amazon, came with lifetime unlimited photo and video storage at original quality.
Oh.
The problem is that it does not enable that for every device on the account.
Yes.
It's just the Google Pixel. Just all the pictures.
I
and
have
photos
a
on
first generation Google Pixel.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I forgot. But there's people that have, it's not easy, but there's channels that have found apps and found they make like a Raspberry Pi that plugs into the Pixel, and it will just transfer all of their photos from their phone or from their camera over to this Raspberry Pi that loads all the pictures and videos onto the Pixel and backs it up. So there's people just abusing the crap out of the Pixel 1 because it offers this unlimited original quality photo and video storage thing. So
wow. Can you send me these YouTube videos?
I will. Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
I'll find them. But you might need some additional hardware, but
Yeah,
this could result
I'd buy
in
a
you not
Raspberry
having
Pi.
to pay. Yeah, if it's just a one-time payment,
Yeah.
hope that battery lasts really, really long time, you know?
What do you plug it in with?
'Cause
USB-C?
I don't know how long that Pixel 1's going to last, but it's definitely not getting software updates anymore. But it's just funny to watch people abuse the Pixel 1's unlimited storage
Hey,
perk.
I'll stare at
Google's
the
like,
notch in
those...
the chin and the bottom chin. The forehead and the chin.
Don't
That's
talk
the
about
words I'm
my
looking for.
bottom chin. I'm working on it.
bottom shit. But I was looking
That's
into
your bumper,
that.
Andy.
Chris from Dirty Tesla does this.
Really?
He
Okay.
bought a Pixel 1 just for the unlimited storage.
Hey,
I
well,
would
that's
too.
Chris, what's up?
My first Android would be my last Android. I mean, come on now.
The tricky part is getting photos to transfer from the iPhone to the Pixel. That's not.
Well, I don't
easy.
care about iPhone. I mean,
But,
most of my stuff's just on like these SSDs. So like I could plug this
Yeah.
right into the Pixel. It's USB-C to USB-C.
Would it import like that?
I've never played with it. I'm gonna play around with it.
If there's an
Heck,
app
I could
that
plug the
lets you,
Pixel
I'm sure there
into
is.
my USB-C hub and plug like all of my drives into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's probably an Android app because I know there's a lot of file management features on
Mhm.
Android, but there's probably an option on the Pixel 1 for you to transfer all pictures and videos onto that. I don't know how much storage it has on it, but it's probably
128.
not much. Oh, yours has
I
128?
think it was 128. Maybe it's
Okay.
64. I don't know.
I know the default back then was 32.
Oh, was
but
that the
why do you have a
default?
Pixel 1? I
My
forgot.
my uncle found it and he was like, "Hey, do you want this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So it's
Aren't you glad you didn't burn it?
I almost burnt it, but I'm really glad I didn't burn it.
Oh my god. So that might be an option
that
worth
might be the
pursuing.
option.
So
Interesting.
I was thinking about it until
Hey.
they brought up the
Hey,
Raspberry
when I'm done
Pi
uploading
stuff,
all
and
my
I'm
stuff, I'll send you the Pixel, and then you can upload
Thank you.
your stuff.
like, we'll back them all up. Everyone just passing the Pixel around the table.
It's like
No,
the new
420
Netflix
was a
password
couple
sharing.
days ago.
Yeah.
Password sharing. Oh my
Dang it.
goodness. Closing
Yeah.
thoughts, guys?
Some
Closing
pixels
thoughts.
passing around.
Manly
The table.
noises.
Manly noises. Cool.
I think Randy's gonna return the AirPods Max because he's gone 2 weeks without using them.
No, today was a different story.
Today was different. Okay.
Yeah.
There'll be something else next week.
No, I had to get dressed up. I didn't want to mess up my presentation with like headphone hat.
Ah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks all for listening. Hope you have an excellent week. Take care.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.